taste the feeling.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Good morning and welcome to show number 2 of the revamped Clarence Bug Show here on Pelican Sports TV. So glad to have you along this morning as we all continue making our way through the brand new norm that has become COVID-19, aka the coronavirus. Here in the great state of Louisiana, unfortunately, we have the very dubious distinction of having the fastest growth rate of the coronavirus of any per capita region in the entire country. Obviously, pure numbers alone, folks like Washington, folks like New York have greater numbers than we do. But when you break it down on a per capita basis, Louisiana, unfortunately, leads the entire nation. When you look overall at the impact, here in Louisiana, a couple of areas in particular have the potential to cripple our local economy. Tourism, obviously, huge in the New Orleans area and in other parts of the state as well. Also, industry, big here in Louisiana, and of course, the potential is there for some crippling effects if we don't get a handle on all of this as well. So to start today's show, and talk about this, we reached out to a dear friend, a guy who is plugged directly into business and industry here in the state of Louisiana. We welcome in our friend Tim Johnson, the executive producer and host of the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Tim, good morning, and how are you, my friend?
I am well, Clarence. Congratulations on the show, my friend. Glad to see you on the air.
Thank you. Thank you, big guy. What sort of hit do you see business and industry taking in our state as a result of the coronavirus, Tim?
Well, I think you got to separate it into two hits, actually, Clarence. It's the immediate hit, right, and it's the long-term hit. And I can tell you that the immediate hit has been significant. You look at, for instance, the petrochemical industry and the slowdowns that have taken place. You see announcements where ExxonMobil and others are curtailing production. That doesn't just have a hit on the local economy in terms of that single facility's impact, but overall on reduced product out in the marketplace and whatever supply and demand issues that might create.
Right.
I think as much of a concern, though, is the longer term and where this might go, depending on how long it lasts. there are a lot of economists out there that have significant concerns about the long-term impact on this, what appears to be almost complete shutdown, and I say that with quotes, of our economy. The long-term impact could be significant.
When you look at conventional wisdom, it says when COVID-19 ends up running its course, industry can crank right back up. I mean, it's a pretty simple, well, not simple, but it's much easier to put people back into a plant, start cranking out a product, as opposed to, say, revamping the tourism industry, where it's dependent upon people's disposable income, their willingness to travel again, and having the free time to, I don't know, take a trip to visit New Orleans, to the French Quarter, or many of the plantation homes around South Louisiana. That's going to be a lot more dependent upon people's wherewithal, for lack of a better phrase, than industry. Does conventional wisdom bear that out, where tourism and business is going to take a lot harder to crank back up than industry will, Tim?
Well, I would say a couple of things on that, Clarence. Number one, whatever production is lost is lost. So as we slow down production and we don't sell that product, obviously that's an issue. It's not like these plants are continuing to run at full rates and then they're going to just store the product and hope to sell it later. They have actually, in many cases, curtailed production. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's as easy as they just go back to work. There will be an impact there. But my sister, Jill Kidder, is the executive director of the Louisiana Travel Association, mm-hmm. and they are taking a huge hit, a hit that never comes back, quite frankly. And wow. Among their largest concerns are their hourly employees. If you think about all of the folks that are in housekeeping in these hotels in New Orleans and Baton Rouge and all over Louisiana, that effort never comes back. And so the impact there is significant. Now, I was certainly pleased and both, pleased and a little bit frightened, quite frankly, to see that the Senate and the President and the House finally agreed on this $2 trillion relief package last night.
Right.
I think there are some things in there that can help individuals, that can help businesses, both small and large, and we'll see how that plays out. But it is a tough time in the economy right now.
We look at the long-term picture here in Louisiana. Love him or hate him, agree with him or disagree with him, Governor Bobby Jindal, before leaving office, set in motion some things that were set then to bear huge economic fruit. There were some mega industry projects that just now are on the verge or on the horizon of coming to fruition. How worried are you, if any, Tim, that COVID-19 will delay those projects or hurt those projects, particularly in the South Louisiana, the heavily industry-populated corridor?
There is some concern, obviously. I mean, I think you see some of those construction projects, those major industrial construction projects that are underway as we speak this morning, Clarence, that are being slowed down, quite frankly. And I think that those that have broken ground and are underway, I think they are far less likely to be canceled. Obviously, those projects have major investments that have already been made, and those will continue. I think some of the things that have not quite begun yet may be somewhat at risk, but I would argue that they may be more at risk because of the significant drop in the price of a barrel of oil that we have seen over the last few weeks than they might be specifically for COVID-19, even though those two things might be interrelated. Right. I think the last check this morning that the price of a barrel of oil is in the low 20s, and that is not good. It's not good for Louisiana's government and its revenues. It's not good for the cash flow of these major corporations that are building these projects. So I think there are two things at work when you think about the vulnerability of a lot of these construction projects that are not yet underway.
Do you have a gut feeling, Tim, what percentage of businesses that are forced to close right now because of COVID-19 may in fact never recover and never reopen? Do you have a gut feeling, or is there simply no way to tell because of the unprecedented nature of what we're dealing with here?
I think you are right when you say it's hard to tell based on the unprecedented nature of what we're dealing with. I think historically we know that a certain percentage of small businesses fail every year. That these small businesses are generally operating on very tight cash flows. They are kind of month to month kind of operations. It's the nature of being in a small business. And I think a hit like this, when some of them have to close or significantly cut back on what they're able to provide in the marketplace, and therefore their revenues are significantly impacted, it's going to be hard for some of them to make it. And I do think we'll see across the country a significant percentage of small businesses suffer. Now, I will say that based on this $2 trillion package that was passed last night, in that there is some $350 billion worth of assistance to small businesses. And so, our federal leaders have seen fit to put some assistance money in there. Hopefully a number of small businesses will be able to tap into that resource, and we'll see what kind of difference that makes in terms of maybe helping some of those at-risk small businesses to survive.
Tim, you are like myself in that we are really big. We are huge on America, on industry, on business, and we both recognize that Americans, by and large, we do our best work when our backs are against the wall. Some may look at business and industry and what they're going through right now and say, man, I don't know if we'll ever be able to recover from this. But there is also here a marvelous opportunity, is there not, for businesses to become creative, for industry to diversify and rise to a level that maybe no one ever thought we could before, because again, Americans possess this ability. When our backs are against the wall, we think outside the box and we get things done, Tim.
I think you're exactly right about that, Clarence, and I'm going to give you a perfect example of that happening previously in the United States.
Okay.
When the whole idea of this enhanced recovery of oil, fracking, came about, one of the things that happened is the United States then became almost, sort of energy independent.
Right.
And the OPECs and the Russians of the world looked at that and they said, look, we're going to drop this price of oil. And we went through that whole process a couple of years ago where the price of oil dropped significantly. And they were doing it intentionally to try to hurt these enhanced oil recovery processes all over the United States. Our ability to get oil where we couldn't get it before.
Right.
And it made it difficult in places like the Haynesville Shale in North Louisiana, where they couldn't produce the oil at a price that was reasonable to be able to sell it and make a profit. But what that industry did is it retrenched, it looked at technology, it got lean, it got smarter, it got better, and it came back with a vengeance in terms of its ability to make a profit at a lower price of oil. I think you're going to see some of that. So sometimes there is a cleansing that takes place through these difficult situations where businesses who may have gotten a little bit comfortable recognize that they've got to go back to the drawing board, get lean, get smart, use technology to a greater extent. And I don't think there's any question but that you'll see some of that happen.
Finally, Tim, what do you hope business and industry will learn from this particular episode that we're going through right now?
Well, I think there's probably going to be a number of lessons, but most significantly, Clarence, I think it's going to be paying attention to your cash reserves, your cash flows. I think you'll see businesses, be a little bit cautious over the course of the next maybe year or so, 2 years. I think this is going to be really good in terms of this kind of pandemic, and our state level and our federal level readiness will improve significantly, and hopefully let's hope this never happens again. But if it does, I think you will see both federal, state, local, and businesses be better prepared to deal with it as we go forward.
Before we let you go, Tim Johnson, tell folks where they can catch the Louisiana Business and Industry Show, because you do some great work and you disseminate wonderful information, and people certainly, if they had not already done so, want to and need to check you out.
Well, I'm grateful for that, Clarence. The Louisiana Business and Industry Show airs on Sunday mornings on 7 network affiliates around Louisiana, so we're statewide. The times vary a little bit on Sunday mornings depending on what market you're in, but it's generally between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. in terms of when they air.
Right.
I would encourage folks to go to our website, and that website is www.louisianabusinessandindustryshow.com. That's a long name, but you spell it out, and you can see specific markets and times on Sunday morning where the show will air, and we encourage everyone to tune in. This past Sunday, we actually had noted Louisiana economist Dr. Lawrence Scott on the show. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter, and we put the shows up on social media so you can watch them right on your cell phone.
I know initially you started out in radio. That's where the two of us first met and became friends. Are you still doing radio as well, or have you now migrated just to TV?
We have put the radio show on hold for the first half of this year. Fully intend to go back to it. The relationship with the folks at Guarantee Media remains strong. Gordy Rush, Glenn Foster, that entire team, Brian Haldane have been good to us, and so we fully intend to restart the radio show at some point in 2020. That is
LouisianaBusinessAndIndustry.com, or is the show in there as well on the web
address?
You
got to put the show in there, www.louisianabusinessandindustryshow.com, all spelled out. Take a look. We'd sure appreciate folks tuning in.
He is Tim Johnson, the executive producer and host of the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Great to hear your voice again, my friend. And if you don't mind, we may lean on you in the future for some more of your expert insight as we all make our way through the coronavirus pandemic.
I am a huge fan of Clarence Buggs and would be happy to be with you anytime, my friend.
Great to talk with you, my friend. Take care, and we'll talk soon, Tim.
Thanks.
He is a great guy, great insight, great show. Be sure to check out Tim Johnson. Again, that is LouisianaBusinessAndIndustryShow.com. We're a little bit behind. Marty's kind of freaking out, offset. Don't worry. We'll get this break in. Not a big deal. We'll go ahead and take this first break, get this out of the way, and we'll come back with more of show number 2 of the revamped Clarence Buggs Show. Stay close.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonCountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Cantea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now, I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Welcome back to show number 2 of the recently revamped Clarence Bugg Show. A very special thank you to all the guys working here at Pelican Broadcasting. We have been talking for God knows how long about putting this show together, and recent developments over the last 6-8 months or so. Everything just kind of fell in place, as we jokingly like to say. All the gods in TV heaven lined up everything. So here we are. We are back with you all across the great state of Louisiana, and quite frankly, based upon my background and the background of the guys at Pelican, could not happen at a better time. Give us the opportunity to disseminate some much needed information, and of course to give all of you the opportunity to talk with one another here in South Louisiana. I understand we've got Eric in Denham who's on line 1. And by the way, feel free, give us a call. The number to call is on the screen, area code 225. We are in the capital area, 831-1029. Eric in Denham, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing good, Clarence. Nice to hear from you again.
Same here, big guy. How you been, man? Just caught the voice, E?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. I'm just glad to see you back on the air, TV or radio or whatever.
Right. So how you holding up dealing with the coronavirus, man?
Good, working from home.
Oh, you're working from home now. Okay, good deal, deal. What's been the biggest challenge for you, Eric?
Having to work with my wife from
home. She's not in the room anyway, is she?
Oh, no.
So you, as an entrepreneur, have seen all the struggles that people are going through right now, the things that they're dealing with. What advice could you give them, Eric, as somebody who's, quote, been there and done that?
Just stay the course. That's all I can really say right now. It's just a different time for everybody, you know. So you just have to stay the course and pray that everything's going to get better.
A lot of people, and I guess this is where you find out where you're really made of, Eric. Your mettle, if you will, gets tested. But what would you say to the people that are wondering right now whether or not Louisiana and America will be able to get through this?
Oh, yeah. Well, we can get through anything if we stick together. That's that's the main goal with everything. We got to stick together like we did after 9/11.
Yep. Yeah. You know, today is the 75th anniversary of Iwo Jima, and we look back at the greatest generation and the sacrifices that they were called to make in reserving our rights and our freedoms here in this country. And they literally went halfway or more around the world, gave lives and the like in the cause of freedom. 75 years later, we find ourselves in a different sort of war now, but we're not asked to make anywhere near the kind of sacrifices they made. I heard somebody say just this morning, all we're being asked to do is stay at home and stay off the streets. It says a lot about that generation and the sacrifices that they made for us some 75 years ago, doesn't it, Eric?
Yes, sir, it does. Just stay at home. That's what we're trying to do right now, and it's a lot different than trying to storm a beach.
Eric, it's great to hear your voice again, my friend. Help us spread the word, man. Let's see if we can get the whole band back together again.
All right, sir. Have a good one.
You the same, my friend. Wow. It's for those of you that don't know, And of course, obviously, there are probably more people outside the area than inside the area by the simple fact of the matter that we're now on television and reaching so many more homes than we were before on radio. But there's a large contingent of people that we had the opportunity to interact with on a daily basis. And Eric was one of those, and just a great family of folks over in Denham. But to echo what Eric was saying, listen, y'all, we're Americans, and we do our best work when our backs are against the wall. And yeah, it may seem a little tough right now. It may seem as though, you don't know where we're going to go, how we're going to get there, what we're going to do when we get there. But just keep in mind, as Americans, we do our best work when our backs are against the wall. And we understand full well that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with that single step. And quite frankly, we are well on our way now. And in the grand scheme of things, just imagine if this were 75 years ago and we were being asked to build ships to transport our young people overseas to fight an enemy that was hell-bent at the time on world domination. Just imagine. It is truly a different day. It's a different scenario. But I say all this to say that when push comes to shove, we're still Americans, guys and girls, and we still do our best work when our backs are against the wall. We are known for rising to the occasion. And fortunately, it's been a while since we've had to take on an enemy of this magnitude. But at the end of the day, the stakes are still the same. At the end of the day, we are still dealing with an enemy. And at the end of the day, we're still Americans. And we do the things that Americans do. And quite frankly, nothing against people in the rest of the world, but my humble opinion only, Americans do it better than anybody else. Just saying. We are at the bottom of the hour. After we get our next commercial break out of the way. And Marty, is that clock accurate that you're counting me down to? Okay, roughly. All right. After that, we'll talk about something that unfortunately doesn't take a break. You would think that with the advent of the stay-home orders and all the concern about coronavirus and the like, you would think that crime has taken a big drop, a big hit. Wrong answer, but thanks for playing anyway. After our next commercial break, we'll spend some time with another dear friend of the show, at least the show in years past, Sid Newman, the executive director of Crimestoppers. I want to spend a little time with him and talk about some of the things that you can do with all this free time that you have now to help us all improve the quality of life in our respective neighborhoods. Some things that you may not give a whole lot of attention to in the normal course of things because, you're busy chasing your version of the American dream. You're busy doing this with the kids, that with the kids. So you don't spend a whole lot of time thinking, okay, what can I do to fight crime in my neighborhood and improve the quality of life? Well, we'll talk with Sid Newman after this break and see what we can do in that regard. Hoping you'll stay with us. You're watching show number 2 of the brand new Clarence Buggs Show. Stick tight. We're coming right back.
it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Welcome back for segment, what is this, Marty? Segment 3 of show 2 of the Clarence Bug Show. Yeah, it is really a pleasure to be back with you guys and girls on the air, as we say in the business. Been a little bit of a hiatus, but we are back in full force and dealing with things that all of South Louisiana, and for that matter, all of America and most of the world dealing with. The coronavirus, COVID-19, China virus, whatever terminology you choose to use in that regard. You know, it's amazing to me, and I guess the older you get, the more you realize the validity of the statement. The more things change, the more they stay the same. You would think, and I would as well, and I found out recently that I would be dead wrong in thinking this way, but you would think that with the stay-at-home order issued by the governor and, of course, the respective parishes, you would think that crime would take a drastic drop. Unfortunately, if you think that way, as I was thinking that way, you'd be dead wrong. One of the great friends of the Clarence Bug Show over the years has been the Crimestoppers program. It has become a part, if you are a baby boomer like myself, even a member of the greatest generation, and for that matter, millennials, Generation Xers, Gen Xers, and the like. Crimestoppers and the number 344-STOP has become a part of our DNA. And quite frankly, I have been so fortunate as to take this relationship to an entirely different level, having been in media. You may well remember, those of you that were with us during the radio days, you know that we did every week a regularly scheduled segment with the good folks at Crimestoppers. And as this show progresses, we are hoping to continue that relationship and do the exact same thing. Now, all of that being said, maybe the longest intro in the history of radio and television, we bring in our dear friend, a great friend to all of Baton Rouge and the greater Crimestoppers area, Sid Newman, the executive director of Greater Baton Rouge Crimestoppers. Sid, how are you today, my friend?
Clarence, it's a wonderful day, and I am so excited that you're back.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. It is really good to hear your voice, my friend. I mentioned that most of us lay people, those of us not intricately in law enforcement circles, would tend to think at a time like this, oh, wow, finally we'll get a break from crime, because after all, we've got stay-home orders. Everybody's concerned about not being out in the public and being in places where they don't know what's on this surface, that surface. Has that been the case? Has crime taken a holiday because of the coronavirus, Sid?
Well, I mean, it's not Christmas. I mean, we would all hope that it would, but I think a good example is last night or yesterday. We had 3 shootings. 3 people were shot.
3 shootings?
3 people were shot, so at least there was at least 3 gunshots for sure.
Right.
So, you know, crime is what it is. And now that you have so many people that are out of work, out of a job, you have so many younger generations that are out of school right now, and there's not a whole lot for them to do to sit home and maybe watch television or play on the electronics. So a lot of them are getting on the street, and they're trying to occupy themselves. And sometimes they, more often than not, they get involved in things that they shouldn't be in, like breaking in someone's house or you know, stealing something from a store when they should be staying at home.
You know, they may possibly be doing some of these things because they are of the opinion, wait a minute, all of these things are shutting down, all of these people are inside, maybe Crimestoppers has shut down and they're not watching out for citizens as much as they traditionally do. What do you say to those people that might be thinking that way, Sid?
Crimestoppers is running 7/24, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. If you know something, we want you to say something, and Crimestoppers is the safest way to do so. When you call our number, it's a 344-STOP. You will be talking to someone. We have a couple of new things going on. We went to a different software program, and it's called P3. And it's a free download. If you can go to the Apple Store or Android. It's a free download, and you can use this P3 anywhere in the world, and connecting us to Baton Rouge or the surrounding parishes in the Baton Rouge area. It's very simple. It's very safe, and one of the unique features, which we hadn't had the capability of doing, but we do now, is we can take and receive videos and photographs. Everybody's got a phone, and every phone's got a camera. So we can now receive those photographs of people that maybe are wanted or people that are committing a crime.
Wow. Now, are you able to submit, can people that may have these videos, can they go about submitting that to Crimestoppers?
Sure. There's several ways you can do it. You can go to our Crimestoppers website. That's www.crimestoppersbr.com. And when you pull it up, you'll have a submit a tip. You'll have the mobile app. You can easily just go to hit the submit a tip button, and it'll bring you into some slots that you need to fill in. And then at the very bottom, you can go to the browse section, and you can download your video or your photographs. Or you can download the mobile app, and it's basically the same thing. It's a very unique feature, and for years we just didn't have the capability, and we went to this new software, and I can tell you, it has paid big time.
Wow. So with so many people having all this extra time now, wouldn't this be a great time to make it a point, I don't know, make it appointment viewing, once a week, twice a week, whatever. Go to your website, view all of the folks there that Crimestoppers is looking for to get off our streets and improve the quality of life. And you can also make some extra money out of this if you happen to jog your memory or see some folks as you go to the grocery store, the pharmacy, or whatever that Crimestoppers is looking for, correct?
Exactly. Again, if you go to our website, crimestoppersbr.com, you can go to either the unsolved crime section, or you can go to the wanted suspects. And these are people that we currently are looking for. And if your information proves to be correct, in which we can make that arrest, and in some of these cases where we get an indictment, we're not worried about conviction because we've got about a 98% conviction rate. Wow. You will be eligible for a cash reward. And that cash reward will be anywhere from $50 up to $5,000.
Wow.
At the end of this week, Clarence, we would have paid out over $2,900,000 in cash rewards since the inception of the program, and every one of those payouts has been done completely anonymously. Heck, I may have paid you a reward and wouldn't know it. You never ever come in contact with the person that receives the reward. It's all anonymously done.
Wow, fantastic. So is any crime too large or too small to report to Crime Stoppers, Sid?
Well, we would like, we pay on felony crimes, but we want to know about any and all crimes. Where our office is located is at State Police Headquarters, and we're a unique group in that we work with federal, state, local, and parish law enforcement agencies. So when we get that tip, if it's a federal case, we have a federal agent there that we can pass it on to. If it's something outside of our immediate jurisdiction, we have the state police. If it's something within a parish or another parish, we just contact that local sheriff and work from there. Or if it's locally, we work with either Sheriff Sid Gotro's people or Chief Murphy Paul's people.
We have all known for God knows how long now, it's almost a part of our DNA, the number 344-STOP. But many people may not know what area exactly that encompasses when we say Greater Baton Rouge Crime Stoppers or Crime Stoppers BR. What areas do you cover, Sid?
That's a very good question. We cover East Baton Rouge, West Baton Rouge, East and West Feliciana, Iberville, Ascension, Livingston, and Point Capite.
So if someone has knowledge of a crime that's not within that particular area, can they still call Crime Stoppers, report that, and expect Crime Stoppers BR to relate that information to other Crime Stoppers organizations outside the capital region?
Oh, yes. That happens a lot, Clarence. We receive tips from people that, for whatever the reason, they have either left another state or fled from that state, and they'll contact us and tell us about a crime or wanted suspect, and we'll pass it on to our counterpart in that state. We have Crime Stoppers program located in every state in the United States. We have them in Canada. We're international. We have about 2,500 programs worldwide.
Wow.
So if we get a tip, it doesn't make a difference where it is. We will more than likely have a contact where we can pass that information forward.
You know, if memory serves correct, Sid, when we were doing a regular segment on my radio show, Baton Rouge Crime Stoppers enjoyed one of the highest arrest rates and success rates of Crime Stoppers anywhere on the planet. Is that still the same case? And if it is anywhere near that, what does that say to you about the people in the Greater Baton Rouge Crime Stoppers area?
Well, Clarence, I'd like to brag on our program, and that we're probably in the top 5% of all the programs. And
wow.
When I brag about our program, I'm bragging on the citizens, because it's the listeners and it's the viewers that have this information, that trust us, that contact us and pass that information on to us, knowing that they will and stay anonymously. Since our inception, Clarence, we made over 13,800 felony crimes solved, and we've arrested over 12,500 felons in this. We recovered over almost $35 million in stolen property and illegal narcotics. And like I mentioned earlier, by the end of this week, we will have paid out over $2,200,000 in cash rewards, 100% anonymously.
You guys are living proof, and the Crime Stoppers program itself is living proof, is it not, that one person can, in fact, make a difference?
Oh, absolutely. One person can make all the difference in the world. And for the people that are following this segment, you know, you may not think that information that you have is important. Mm-hmm. Give us a call. Contact us. Download that P3 app. pass it on to us. Let us look into it. You'd be surprised. That little piece of information you have may be the masterpiece of the puzzle that we're looking for.
Right.
So no information is bad information. Pass it on to us. We'll investigate it. And if it turns out to be good information, you could be eligible for a cash reward.
So the advent of COVID-19, the coronavirus, has it forced any changes in the method of collecting information and or the dissemination of rewards for Crimestoppers, or is it still pretty much business as usual?
It's pretty much business as usual, except it's a little bit more business than usual, as we talked about earlier. We're still 7/24. We normally have somebody in our office between 6:30 in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we have a call center, which is located in Canada. And the reason for all of this is to protect the identity of the people that contact us. The call center takes over till the next morning. So you're never ever going to talk to a reporter. You're going to eventually talk to that human and pass that information on to them, but with the understanding and guarantee that you will remain anonymous.
Once again, if you would give them, and before I forget, some people may be a little hesitant to pick that phone up and talk to an actual person, even though the person can't see them, even though the person has no idea who they are. For whatever reason, some people may be a little hesitant about doing the person-to-person thing on the phone. Is that the only way you can report knowledge of a crime, Sid?
No. Clarence, there's two other ways you can do it. You can go to our website, crimestoppersbr.com, and go to submit a tip. Or you can download that free mobile app, P3. If you have, you can go to the Apple Store, or you can go, the Apple Store apps would have it, or you can go to the Android side of it. But it's free. It's a mobile app. It's called p3tips.com. And you can't go wrong by it. And again, it gives you the capability to where if you even have a video or a photograph, and you'd be surprised at the ones that we get, that you can submit that. And again, all of this is 100% anonymous. We don't want to know who you are, but we do want to know the information that you have. And we're willing to pay you a cash reward if that information proves to be correct.
Sid Newman is the Executive Director of Greater Baton Rouge Crimestoppers. My friend, it is so great to hear your voice, and I am so looking forward when all of this stuff runs its course that we are able to resume this relationship and we can enable people to do their part to improve the quality of life in their neighborhoods and the entire state of Louisiana. So thankful for you, Sid. Take care of yourself, my friend.
Thank you very much, Clarence. Have a wonderful day.
You do the same. He is a friend to law enforcement, a friend to the community, a friend to all of us that want to do our part to improve the quality of life where we live. And we're going to be doing some more great things with the great folks at Greater Baton Rouge Crimestoppers. Of course, we don't know how their fundraisers are going to run this year, obviously because of the coronavirus, but we will stay in touch with them and we will make it a point to be able to support them in that endeavor. We're a little bit late on our final break of the hour, but we wanted to give that time to Sid and let them know that our relationship is unchanged. The pipeline is still open. So we'll get our final commercial break of this hour out of the way, and after we do that, we will come back and wrap up hour 1 of show 2 of the Clarence Bugg Show. Stay with us. Thought I was going to forget the numbers, didn't you, Marty?
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher.
And I'm Bill Profita, and together
we are the Morning Exiles. For 5 long years we did a great great radio program, talked about the things you want to talk about with the people you want to hear from, but
they kicked us to the curb.
That's right.
Exiled us to a podcast, which turned out to be very successful.
Because now we're taking it to television. We hope you'll join us Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. till noon on Pelican Broadcasting.
You think we need to change the name?
What, Morning Exile? No, we're the Exiles.
It will be the best damn radio show on television.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Welcome back for the final segment of show number 2 of the revamped Clarence Bug Show. So great to be along with you. And by the way, if you would make it a point, and Marty, I had that written down here somewhere. Here we go. Number 1, tell all your friends that we are back on air, because obviously, and I never thought after 40 years of broadcasting that it would come down to this. But it has now become tough, almost impossible in many cases, to find a venue, an avenue, where South Louisiana folks can talk about the issues that are plaguing us in the media. I mean, you can do it in social media, but to be able to do it on air, and you know, it's the age of corporate media. It is the age of individuals all going now to syndicated shows and the like. But just normal people like you and I being able to talk with one another on a daily basis about the issues that affect us and plague us is becoming increasingly hard. That's where locally owned and operated franchises like Pelican Broadcasting really stand out. They give us the opportunity and the ability to be able to talk with one another, to one another. I'll tell you, one of the things I've learned after so many decades in broadcasting here in South Louisiana, number 1, we are a breed apart. as if you didn't know that already, right? But I've learned particularly, folks in Louisiana, yeah, we're concerned about what is happening in the rest of the country. Yeah, we're concerned about what is happening around the rest of the planet. But we want to talk about what's happening here in Louisiana. And fortunately, the great folks at Pelican Broadcasting and Pelican Sports TV have given us the vehicle to be able to do just that. So, go to PelicanSportsTV.com. Got it right, Marty? Yeah, PelicanSportsTV.com, and there you can download the app. No, that's not to watch it live. Or you can watch it live on Pelican Sports TV. But you can also download the app, and you can take us with you anywhere you go, right? Pelican Broadcasting app. Yeah, go to the App Store for either Apple and or Android, whatever your device happens to be, and download the app. And then that way you can take us with you any and everywhere you go. Not only that, but you can also tell your friends that their buddy Clarence is back on the air and help us spread the word. And of course, in these times of uncertainty with the coronavirus and the like, if you know a great business out there that is doing some wonderful things and they want to get the word out, tell them we would love, absolutely love to help in that regard. They can call us up at 831-1029, and we will be more than happy to get the word out there and help out in that regard. You know, as we all become accustomed to this new norm, it occurred to me last night, one of the things that we talked about on my past life as a radio talk show host, we instituted a segment called Fitness Friday. We spent some time, I forget what it was about, but we spent some time talking with Rudy Macklin, a former LSU basketball great who is now head of the Governor's Council on Physical Fitness, has been in that capacity for God knows how long. And the numbers that Rudy gave us were so alarming that we decided we would institute a segment called Fitness Friday, helping to battle the obesity epidemic that is just ravaging Louisiana and the United States of America, for that matter. But particularly here in Louisiana, because this is where we live, where we work, where we worship, where we play, and where, of course, we raise our kids. And it occurred to me last night that with this obesity epidemic that is ravaging Louisiana, this would be a great way for many people with all this downtime that we have now to get back in the swing of doing things to shed pounds. And on top of that, now that the kids are home with you, talk about a great way to pass some time. Get with the kids and start implementing things that all of you can do. Do them together, replant, if you will, and sadly, for some of you, plant initially the seed of physical fitness in the younger generation. As you well know, and you don't have to be Einstein to figure this one out, we have the least healthy bodies probably on the entire planet. We got the healthiest thumbs because of all the texting and the video game playing that we do. Our thumbs, God, we probably have muscles in our thumbs that we never knew folks on the planet even had, because that's all our kids do is use their thumbs. and this is not, to be a downer on them. It is what it is. It's what the world has become. But this would be a great opportunity. Start with something small and work your way up, even if it's no more than, a passing interest that your kids have. Share that with them. Get out in the yard, do some things in the house. If you happen to live, in a multi-story dwelling, something as simple as who can climb the stairs the most times within a period of X amount of minutes. You got to be creative. You got to think outside of the box. But once you plant that seed, you'd be amazed at what can grow. But you got to get in the dirt, you got to water it, you got to plant it, and once you start it, put a little sunlight on it, and where it goes from there is strictly up to you and to the kids. You'd be amazed. It happened so very quickly. My generation, us boomers, when we would get out of school and we went home, man, we couldn't wait to finish homework, because the first thing we were doing is finding that front door, the bicycle, the pickup game, what have you, the local track meet, if you will. We were out the door, so physical fitness was never a concern for us. But if you look at the obesity numbers now, and of course the related health effects that come along with this, and how much we are spending as a nation because of that, it behooves us, guys, girls, to reinvest in and replant that seed, if you will, of physical fitness here in America. Thank God the war that we're fighting right now is against an enemy that is bacteriological in nature. If it were a physical enemy and we had to marshal a physical army to fight it, because of the obesity epidemic in this country, to be quite frankly, and trust me, it pains me to say it, I don't know if we could defeat them. So spend some time. Let's get back physically fit as a result of Corona. Top of the hour break.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Welcome back for segment one of hour two of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. If you are new to the show, new to the station, new to the area, your buddy Clarence is back. Let all your friends know that Pelican Broadcasting has made it possible for you guys and girls here all across the great state of Louisiana to have your voices heard. You know, social media, that's one thing, but if you're not one of those that's all that big on social media, you're old school like I am, you like to talk to folks about what's going on with other folks right here where we live. And this is the opportunity for you to do just that. 831-1029 is the number that will get you aboard. And of course, it is the capital region that we emanate our broadcast from. So 225 is the area code. Speaking of talking with other folks about South Louisiana things, got a guy on line one that is a friend to all of South Louisiana. He is a spicy guy, and that should say it all. Did I do it justice just now, buddy Sanji?
What's that?
Did I do it justice just now when I said this guy is spicy, and that really should say it all?
Good morning, CB. How are you?
I'm well, big guy, and yourself?
I am doing outstanding. First and foremost, congratulations on getting back on the air. Everybody misses you, and you haven't changed a bit, Clarence.
I know where you're going. Bless your heart.
Hey, listen, you're talking about COVID-19 and all the other things. I just wanted to give everybody a little dose of positive stuff, and, you know, we have so much to be thankful for. But before I do that, Clarence, if you give me a couple seconds, I want to give a shout-out to all the doctors, the nurses, the health care providers, the caretakers, the EMS special people and personnel, the caregivers, everybody who's
and the grocery store workers, buddy.
Danger in these trying times, Clarence. I mean, what will we do without these people? Got to start out with a great shout out for those folks.
Amen, amen. And you know, buddy, growing up as a young man, my family was in the grocery store business. We had a couple of full-service convenience stores. We didn't call them convenience stores back then because we did so much. We were more of a market. But I never thought, all the days that I spent unloading a truck, stocking shelves, serving the public, I never thought that particular line of work would end up being something as important as it is today. So we need to, while we're passing these shout outs along, we need to include the great folks that are stocking the shelves, restocking the stores, waiting on us in the checkout line, because they are providing a service that is so valuable that I never thought we would view this way.
No doubt about it, CB. And, you know, you and I have a lot of the same theories about life. Your dad and mom taught you, along with your great brother Ed, who I still quote to this day, if you don't believe in God, you better be right.
Be right.
Rest in peace, my friend Ed, and you carrying on that legacy for the Bugs. But lo and behold, life is 10% of what happens and 90% of how you deal with it. We got through the flood. We got through Katrina. We're going to be bigger, better, and stronger as a state and as a country afterwards. But, Steve B., can I give you some stats that people still can't believe?
Sure.
LSU, the first SEC team to go 15-0. How about that? How much did you enjoy the football season?
Wait a minute. They're the first SEC team to do that? Alabama never did that?
They never did it because, you remember, they just implemented the 2 semifinal games a couple of years ago.
That's right. So they were, 13-0 was their top mark?
Well, they didn't have the 2 semifinals, if you remember, and they did have a year where they had the losses. First SEC team to go 15-0, but here's some incredible stats. Are you ready, Clarence?
Yes.
LSU scored 95 touchdowns this past year. The second best team was 88. You like the offense, Clarence? Were you getting popcorn, or were you watching every series with bated breath?
Buddy, let me tell you something. I've got some relatives, a couple of nephews, younger. The older of the two is in his freshman year of college now, and they live in Tampa, Florida. Their dad, my brother-in-law, is a Florida Gator alum. I mean, they are die-hard Gator fans, and had the opportunity to sit down and talk with them not too very long ago. And, of course, I couldn't wait to bring up LSU football. And it was at that time, in talking with them, I started rattling off some things. And it really struck me then just how amazing the season was. I started telling them, I said, now you guys realize that this was the greatest team, my opinion only, in the history of college football. When you look at the fact that the offensive line was the offensive line of the year, you had the freshman of the year, you had the defensive player of the year, you had the Heisman Trophy winner, you had the head coach of the year, you had the assistant coach of the year, you had the highest touchdown total, you had the SEC champion, you beat the Big Ten champ, you beat the ACC champ. Of course, you won the national championship. You were undefeated. I mean, as I'm rattling off all these accomplishments, it struck me. My God, it's still unbelievable, buddy. Even this far removed, it's hard to believe it.
And that's why I say, Clarence, it was unbelievable. Hey, couple more stats for you, Clarence, real quick. I know you're busy. I wanted to give people an injection of positive karma, reliving what just happened. Everybody adhered to what we're supposed to do. But Joe Burrow, Clarence, 60 touchdown passes. He accounted for another 5. So he had 65 total touchdowns accounted for. Clarence, that ties for number 13 with all the teams in Division I college football. Oh, by the way, it's going to be a reload situation. We're going to cover spring ball when it comes back. We'll keep you tuned in on the radio, on TuneIn, and on TV on Wednesday nights. But I hope people, as we all get a little dose of reality and have our lives certainly affected and impacted with the craziness of the world, I hope they can sit back and relive and enjoy the perks, because CB, you and I are never going to see an LSU quarterback to count for 65 touchdowns in 1 year. It's just not going to ever happen in our lifetimes. And by the way, for 40 years of broadcasting, you look mighty darn young, my man.
But now, buddy, I'm glad you brought that up, because something that is not really a revelation, I'm assuming a lot of other people have thought the same thing. Now that the word is out that LSU offensively is no longer 3 yards and a cloud of dust, that now opens the door, does it not, to recruit young men that in the past, at least from a quarterback, if not just pure athlete standpoint, would have never considered coming to Tiger Town. Now the door has been opened for a lot of young men to say, well, wait a minute, maybe I can come and play for LSU, because quite frankly, nobody sees us going back to 3 yards and a cloud of dust again.
Oh no! I mean, they did lose Joe Brady, obviously, to Carolina, and he's gonna try his wits in the NFL. And of course, we know Cam Newton got released yesterday from Carolina, but Scott Linehan comes in with Coach E. Listen, Miles Brennan will inherit the job. He's got a big arm. He's obviously got to make a lot of plays. And Clarence, I just think it's fair for the LSU fan base to compare Miles Brennan this year to Joe Burrow in 2018, because this will be his first full year of starting.
Right.
Got to keep him healthy. But, man, when I tell you Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall, Trey Palmer, Racey McMath, Jare Jenkins, Keyshawn Butte, and all these other receivers, along with a phenomenal tight end, if that O-line can protect Miles Brennan, you're going to have another lights-out offense. Defense has got Bo Pelini. They'll be more aggressive and get after people, and they lose nobody but the deep snapper and special teams. So, hey, I think it's reload instead of rebuild. And you know what we always say, Clarence, when you feed people filet mignon, they don't want to go back to red beans and rice, even with Manda sausage.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I was just going to correct you on that, because I use this all the time. I say a long-time friend of mine in broadcasting always says, when you've had filet mignon, smoked sausage, just don't cut it.
Well, there you go. Hey, I want to end up with a couple of positive
wait. Before you end up, you open the door, and I got to go there on this with you. NFL. Did you ever think you would see a time in the NFC South where Cam Newton has been replaced by a backup from the Saints? Tom freaking Brady we will see twice a year down in Tampa Bay, of all places. Has the world lost its mind, buddy?
Unbelievable with the NFC South, the 4 quarterbacks. Matty Ryan, Matty Ice at Atlanta, Drew Brees, the record holder, Tom Brady chasing him on some records, and then, of course, Teddy Bridgewater with the big money and the 3-year deal. Him and Joe Brady had a relationship when he was at the Saints. By the way, speaking of NFL, 4 weeks from tomorrow, look forward to it, NFL draft, and are you ready, Clarence? Joe Burrow, Caleb Chason, Patrick Queen, Justin Jefferson, Grant Delpit, Kristen Fulton, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, all expected to go in the first 2 rounds.
Yep. You can't put a dollar figure on that kind of publicity for a program anywhere in the country, can you, buddy?
No, you really can. And once again, Coach O is a tireless worker and tireless recruiter, and I think he's going to bring back once again the thrill And Joe Burrow had a tweet today talking about what everybody should do, and he ended it with "Go Tigers." I didn't know it would be this cool with Coach O, but everybody's doing it, Clarence, with this "Go Tigers." But truly, we finally saw LSU have an offense and a team that everybody in the country was jealous of and wanted to emulate.
What does your gut tell you, buddy? Because you've been doing this a mighty long time, and you're one of the people who constantly has his finger directly on the pulse of the Tiger Nation and particularly LSU football. How many people, when Coach O was hired initially, thought in this time frame, if ever, we would be talking about a season the likes of what we just witnessed?
Only those in his close circle, Clarence. Let's be honest. When you saw them lose to Troy, and him and Matt Canada, who was the offensive coordinator that year, going in different directions, I don't think anybody could have projected or predicted what was going to happen. But,
right.
He did a great job bringing in the bees. He brought in Bill Bush, who's an incredible recruiter. He brought in Joe Brady, who gave him the newfound awesome offense. And, of course, getting Joe Burrow was a big part because Bill Bush had a relationship with Joe's daddy, Jimmy. The three B's, the killer bees. But listen, as we said earlier, you enjoy it, you relive it, you watch it over again, and it's going to be fun to see. Hopefully all of this stuff clears up and we see college football. But, man, oh, man, that Texas game in Week 2 in Tiger Stadium, let's hope it's all cleared up and we can have 100,000 people in there cheering the Tigers on, Clarence.
You look at this past season, buddy, and you mentioned the fact that probably no one outside of Coach O's very intimate circle of family and friends thought we would ever witness, much less witness this soon, the type of season that LSU had. But isn't that one of the reasons, buddy, why organized sports holds such a special place in America's hearts? Because you never know on any given day what's going to happen and what magical occurrence may happen that will last, that will stay with us the rest of our lives.
No doubt about it. And listen, you project this in your show and you live this to the fullest in your life. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Be the best that you can be today. And they didn't listen to any of the peanut gallery or all the other people that would tell them you can't do it. They put their I guess, just got, look, like we said, Clarence, all the time, they got their fingernails dirty. They scratched, they clawed. They wanted to prove people wrong, and now you have everybody in the country to show you the magnitude of Coach O. He's doing PSAs on fighting the coronavirus, and everybody in the country, despite what he sounds like, has great admiration for that man and that program. And you know how we are in this world. The more you get, the more you want. So be safe. And once again, Clarence, great to see you on TV, doing a great job, my man. You got to do watcher, viewer, and listener every day, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. I got to ask, do we know yet when Tigers Roar is going to resume along with your friend, TK?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, we're doing it with Jonathan Poche each and every Wednesday night.
Oh, got some new blood.
And we continue to roll. We will have a replay tonight because there hasn't been much transpired from last week to this week, but we will continue to do it. And I'm just glad that you guys have jumped on with Pelican, but I must say, people, please, I'm a radio guy doing TV. Clarence and Bill and everybody else a little better looking and looking better in the suits than I do.
So before I let you go, buddy, from a sports perspective, what do you say to folks that have been so concerned and are still freaking out and wondering whether or not we're going to survive this? What do you say to them from the eternal optimist sports guy?
I say hope, faith, trust, respect, safety, prayer, common sense, and may God be with you and all your families. And at some point, we hope that we come back to some semblance of normalcy.
He is the host of Buddy's Sports Talk, the co-host of Tigers Roar right here on the Pelican. None other than the incomparable Buddy Sanji. Great to hear your voice, my friend. Take care. We'll be talking soon.
Keep up the great work, Clarence.
Consider it done, my friend. He is a fixture, an institution, if you will, in sports and in talk here in Baton Rouge. And if you get the opportunity, let me rephrase that. Make the opportunity to check him out. And you may have heard over the last couple of days, this is only our second show now on television, we mentioned an important member of our crew here, Jonathan Poche. Make it a point to check out Tigers Roar because he's on there now. Now I know why he was so adamant, Marty, in telling me be sure to ask him about his friend TK, right? Yeah, see, I had no idea. But very capable, very insightful young man. And it's that point in time now where the old fogies like myself, we start handing that torch off to the younger guys like Jonathan. And, man, you talk about knowledgeable, insightful, and does an absolutely amazing job. Trust me on this one. Take it from your buddy Clarence. You'll enjoy him, and he will endear himself to you real soon. We are a little late on this break, so we will go ahead and bang this one out and get this out of the way. And when we come back, we will talk a little bit more about coronavirus and all the other things that are plaguing South Louisiana and America in general. Stay with us. We're coming right back for more of the Clarence Bugg Show. See you shortly.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Today's second edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. So good to be back with you and yours, and a very special thank you to, first and foremost, Pelican Broadcasting for allowing us the opportunity to reconnect with the great folks here in the state of Louisiana, and secondly, to you for welcoming us into your homes, into your hearts, into your places of business, and the like. And, of course, spread the word, if you will, that your buddy Clarence is back on air and we are back serving the folks. Also, remember, PelicanSportsTV.com. That's the website. Go there. You can watch us live there. And, of course, you at PelicanSportsTV.com. You can also go to the App Store, Apple or Android, and download the app there, and you can watch us on the go. Take us with you any and everywhere. And even if you're away from home, out of the state of Louisiana, what have you, you can always keep up with what's going on here in Louisiana. You know, a little observation here. It is amazing how, as we progress as a society, technology advances, we find ourselves with more knowledge, not necessarily more wisdom, but certainly more knowledge as time goes by than any other time in the history of the human species. And many times it takes something like this, the coronavirus pandemic, to bring us back to square one, bring us back to reality, bring us back to the things, quite frankly, that one, made us the great nation that we are today, and two, granted us favor in God's sight. You look at the most basic of things, even without COVID-19, without the coronavirus. Every single year, we have a dedicated flu season. We know, so much so, that we have arrived at a point now where, as regular as clockwork, we're instructed to get a, quote, flu shot, because we know it's coming every year. We also know that there are certain basic things that need to be done to protect ourselves. The washing of hands, keeping your hands away from your eyes, your nose, your mouth, anywhere where bacteria can gain entry into the human body. We're encouraged to limit close contact with individuals that we know may be exhibiting signs of illness. And of course, if we are those individuals that are exhibiting those signs, stay away from others so that we help mitigate the spread. This is stuff that, quite frankly, we should all know by now. It's quite frankly something we should all be practicing by now. And I'll be honest with you, it's a little disturbing that in some quarters you would think nothing virus-like has ever happened in the world. Why do I say that? Well, some people now, it seems as though, are just finding out that you need to wash your hands for a minimum of 20 seconds. Some people, it appears, apparently, are just finding out about hand sanitizer. Some people, it appears, are just finding out that it's better to sneeze into the bend of the elbow and not your hand, so that you don't reach out and greet somebody or give them a hug, and now you've passed that germ on to them. This is stuff that healthcare professionals have been trying to drill into us ever since you pick up a date and you pick up a disease, whether it's SARS or MERS or Ebola or H1N1 or swine flu or Asian bird flu. You follow me here? There's a pattern here. By now, we as Americans and as members of the human species should already know these things. And I guess there is something to be said about the rapid pace of society these days. All of us being so busy that we are chasing our version of the American dream, that for whatever reason, maybe we didn't pay all that much attention to these things before. Well, sadly, we have now arrived at a point in time where we are forced to learn these things and acknowledge these things. Now, that, of course, is if you are a thinking individual. We see case after case after case where everyone apparently is not a thinking person. We still see individuals defying the recommendations set out by government and healthcare professionals. We still see people not adhering to proper social distancing. We still see people that are want to go take place and I forget where it was. I said I was going to make a mental note to jot this down. But some individuals recently held a coronavirus party. All of these folks showed up, and then we now find out later on one of the individuals that attended the coronavirus party did in fact contract the coronavirus. Having a coronavirus party is probably as dumb as a hurricane party out on the coast in the Gulf. You are literally begging for something bad to happen. Listen, I understand that knowledge does not necessarily equate to wisdom. If it did, we would not find ourselves where we find ourselves. Because quite frankly, we in this day and age, in the year 2020, have amassed more knowledge than any part in the history of the human species. We've got knowledge now out the wazoo. But what we don't have, at least a lot of folks that inhabit the earth with us, is wisdom to go along with that. Fortunately, there's a way out. You can now, with a device that probably 2/3 or 90% of the entire population of the world has in their pocket, you can Google anything, anywhere, at any time, and find out what you need to find out. But, as my late father used to say, there's nothing worse than an educated fool. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't have common sense to go along with that, all that knowledge is not worth the paper that it's written on. You can have folks from the CDC, folks from the Louisiana Department of Health and Hospitals, folks from the World Health Organization telling us all of this information. But if you don't use a little common sense and apply it in your everyday life, it's not worth the paper that it's written on. And quite frankly, we have watched in recent years our world become more interconnected. It is no longer a matter of you not exercising discretion, not using the knowledge, and not having common sense only affecting you. It now affects Marty. It affects me. It affects the guys out in the truck. It affects their parents. It affects their grandparents. It's no longer an isolationist sort of compensation that you can expect. It affects everybody in some form or fashion. And as a result, it is now incumbent upon all of us to do our part. Listen, I know for a fact, well, Clarence, I didn't ask to be born into this world where I have shared responsibility of all these other hundreds of millions of people on the planet. Well, none of us did. But the reality of the matter is, it is what it is. And if it helps, think about it in these terms. You not doing it and infecting someone else is one thing. Those people not doing it and infecting you is something else as well, is it not? That street, guys and girls, runs both ways. It is one thing for you to be irresponsible, disregard the guidelines from the CDC, disregard the guidelines from the governor's office, disregard the guidelines from wherever and infecting someone else. But when that street runs in the opposite direction and it infects your child, when that street runs in the opposite direction and it infects your parent, your grandparent, your church member, your longtime friend, now all of a sudden you decide, well, maybe I need to be concerned about this. Listen, I will leave to you to decide whether or not all of this is blown out of proportion. I will leave to you to decide whether or not the media and folks in my line of work are sensationalizing. I'll leave to you to decide whether or not this is something that we should shut down the country, the state, the economy over. But when all is said and done, and you are the one that ends up infected, if you haven't done your part, it's kind of like voting. You hear us say all the time, when you don't vote, you have no right to complain. Well, when you don't self-isolate, when you don't observe the guidelines from the CDC, the governor's office, the mayor's office, World Health Organization, whomever, then when you come down with it, you rightfully have no right to complain. And quite frankly, you have no one to blame but yourself. Just a little something that maybe, hopefully, will make you go, Tell you what, we need to get our bottom of the hour break out of the way. We'll do so. We'll bang out this break, and we will come back for the final half hour of hour 2, show 2 of the brand new Clarence Buggs Show right here on the Pelican. Stay with us.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher.
And I'm Bill Profita, and together
We're the Morning Exiles. For 5 long years, we did a great radio program, talked about the things you want to talk about with the people you want to hear from, but
they kicked us to the curb.
That's right.
Exiled us to a podcast, which turned out to be very successful.
because now we're taking it to television. We hope you'll join us Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. till noon on Pelican Broadcasting.
You think we need to change the name?
What, Morning Exile? No, we're the Exiles.
It will be the best damn radio show on television.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Welcome back for the bottom of the hour segment of the second show of the Clarence Buggs Show. Yeah, this will kill it. This will kill just about anything. Thank you, Marty. I appreciate that, but it's a little early in the day for me, you know. But it's 6 o'clock somewhere in the world, right? There you go. There you go. You know, in all seriousness, guys and girls, the COVID-19 virus is a wake-up call for a lot of us. We find ourselves increasingly these days feeling as though it's all about us. And you hear all the time, and I guess it was probably the same when I was a much younger man growing up, I'm sure the greatest generation looked at us boomers and said, man, I can't believe how selfish the world is becoming. And of course, now that we are older, we kind of look at the millennials and the Gen Xers and the subsequent generations behind us, and we say the same thing. But every now and then, and I will leave to you to decide what to attribute this to, God, Mother Nature, happenstance, whatever. Every now and then something comes down the pike that makes us re-examine priorities. Every now and then something comes down the pike that shows us the interconnectivity that the world now has, and now and how there is in fact validity to the argument or to the phrase, no man is an island. We are increasingly more and more connected to our fellow man. And incidents and instances like this bring that home to us and show us just how much we need and have to rely on one another. Tell you what, for our final half hour, 831-1029 is the number that you can call and get in on the conversation. We, of course, are in the capital region, so you got to be sure 225 is the area code if you are outside the viewing area. 831-1029. Speaking of, Bert is in the capital city. Bert, how are you today, my friend?
Hey, Clarence, good to see you back on. I mean, we're really proud to have you back, and I think in a time that we're going through right now, it's really a great opportunity for people to have a way to vent their frustrations, their concerns, whatever. So I think it's a great time and a great thing that you're doing.
Speaking of frustrations, were you as frustrated as I was and am with Congress and the amount of time that it took them to pass this relief bill to help out the American public that is struggling along with businesses in the wake of the coronavirus, Bert?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's totally ridiculous. I mean, I'm one of the ones that tell people all the time, I'm not for either side. I mean, because I think they all get up there, and I love some of the things that John Kennedy's been saying. I think he's on point. But one of the things I am proud. I mean, Congress, like you said, it's fallen down. But one of the things I'm proud of. I mean, they keep getting on Trump or whoever about enact this defense act or whatever.
Right.
But I'm more proud that these companies are stepping up without being told to do it. I mean, why should you enact something or force somebody to do something, and they're already doing it for you out of the love of their heart? And so with that, it makes me proud that, America and American businesses, they're sitting there going, we're not going to wait on Congress. We're not going to wait on the politicians. We don't have time for that. We're going to take care of the people ourselves.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I really love about the way America's coming together, and that these companies are doing that. And, different businesses are trying to keep people on payroll as best they can, and, just doing everything that they can to help each other. So
tell me, Bert, do you have young ones? You got a millennial in your household or even younger?
Well, I mean, I have Alyssa that's now in college. We got lucky that she was at home during spring break when all this happened, and also lucky that she brought all of her stuff home. So she is now has her own little schoolroom at the house and doing everything online. And so I got eyes on her, so that's good.
So
and that brings up another good point about it's bad that people are having to stay in their houses, but it's also good that families are having family time again. Families are reconnecting again. Having dinner together and, not having to be rushed and stressed and all this. I mean, as bad as all this has been, there's so much good that's coming out of it as well. Now, and I think that's what would help if people would just look to those positives, look to that silver lining, as they say, because there are good things that are happening. And I just love that, again, as bad as it is, I mean, it is a way that families are reconnecting and getting to, get to know each other again.
Yeah, and the reason that I inquired about the family status as far as the age of the young one in your house, and if in fact you had one, I was interested in how does she view all of this? What is she and her friends, what are they all saying about this? I mean, you know, obviously we older folks have our perspective on coronavirus and COVID-19, but what is she and her friends saying about it?
Well, I think a lot of her friends, you know, like the younger generation, didn't take it serious, or, you know, hey, there's none of the younger people that it's really affecting. She was a little bit more responsible than that, but yet there were still times I felt like I was herding cats to, you know, try to tell her, no, you can't leave the house, you can't do this, can't do that.
Right.
But now that they're seeing numbers double in 2 days and 3 days and things like that, I think it's starting to sink in a little bit more. I mean, yeah, they're still bored. Yeah, they want to go do something. Yeah, you know, but, you know, they're learning to cope with it, and they're, you know, I guess figuring out a way to get through it. I mean, you know, one of the things I love is, you know, again, you got all this online stuff, and they're telling them what to do and all this kind of thing. And, you know, she tells them, like, yesterday was day one for her, or no, I guess yesterday was day two. I mean, they started back this past Monday.
Right.
But, you know, she had already completed all of her biology homework for the rest of the semester. Because, again, she didn't have anything else to do, didn't have any other distractions, you know.
Right.
So it's like, let me go and get that out of the way. You know, so I think it's starting to hit home with them a little bit. You know, I mean, look, I was the same way when I was young. I was invincible. I would do anything, go anywhere. Didn't matter, you know. So I think we were all like that when we were younger.
We were. So have you learned anything about yourself as a result of this pandemic? Now that we've had to change literally our entire way of life, at least for the short term and the time being, has Bert discovered or rediscovered anything particular about himself that he'd lost touch with?
You know, honestly, Clarence, I mean, nothing is coming to you know, to mind. I mean, obviously, I've been very involved in Alyssa's life over the last years, and you know, and that's really not changed. So, you know, and again, I'm happy that she's at home and you know, seeing her every day, and you know, so. You know, honestly, not really. I mean, maybe there has been. I just can't think of it right now. But but no, I mean, we've been, I guess, just kind of making the best of it. And you know, here in Louisiana, we're used to this kind of stuff. We're used to hunkering down and, you know, not, you know, the one thing I tell her all the time is be happy it's not like a hurricane where we have no power for 2 weeks.
Right.
So that really makes kids go crazy.
Yeah.
So,
now, and a lot of that, Bert, and listening to you talk, it's because apparently you were a good parent from the beginning. Am I off base in thinking that because we boomers, we talk, particularly those of us that are conservative in nature and politically, we all talk and harp on the fact that parents these days don't parent the way our parents did. And in many cases, we feel it is a lack of parenting that's led to a lot of the things that breed problems in our country. Is this going to be one of these things that happen, although be it inadvertently, that maybe now we start getting back to good parenting and our society will benefit from this?
Clarence, I certainly hope so. I mean, you know, I raised Alyssa old school, so she got raised just like you and I did. But yeah, there's a lot of those issues going on, and you know what? Maybe again, it's one of those silver linings. Maybe it's eye-opening to these parents when, you know, my kid doesn't do this, doesn't do that, but now that they're under their feet 24/7, they go, oh, well, maybe they do, and maybe there's more I need to get involved in, and maybe I need to appreciate those teachers a whole lot more, and, you know, on and on and on. So, yeah, that would be great to kind of get back to some of that old school and you know, being a parent again. And, you know, kind of speaking of schools, the other thing I was thinking of, Clarence, I mean, you know, I think there's time. I think this is also a time we need to reflect that maybe we need to look at reforming the education system. You know, Europe goes year round and people are against it, but I mean, they'll go for, I guess it's a couple of months and get a month off, and a couple of months and get a month off, instead of all this, being gathered up at summertime. And, if you had something like that, to me, would be great to where, okay, well, if you take this month off, it's okay, because we had a month off coming up anyway.
Right.
Because I think about the kids who are seniors this year in high school, and I'm not quite sure if it fits, but it's got to be real close. They've probably only gone to school for 2.5 to 3 years of their high school, because the 2016 floods, stopped basically a half a year. This is stopping half of a year. So it's times like this that you need to start rethinking about how we're educating our kids.
And quite frankly, the kids are pliable. Whatever we come up with, they will adapt to. They will adhere by. I think it's we old fogies that are sticks in the mud and stuck in our ways. Well, we got vacation time. Well, you schedule the vacation at another time. Business will adapt. Offices will adapt. The kids will adapt. And we all end up better for it. We've just got to be willing to try certain things that are outside the norm.
Right. And also with the internet, I mean, these kids have the world at their fingertips. They don't have to worry about, looking in the Encyclopedia Britannica or anything like that and seeing something that's 10 years old. And, so, I mean, these kids can adapt. Again, that's why I think it's time for some education reform, because I think we're still teaching somewhat of that old, ways that we were doing stuff, and it's just totally different. Technology has made it where it's easier for these kids. I mean, obviously, look at us as a nation, as a world. I guess we've flipped over to online classes in a week.
That's right.
And everybody seems to be doing it. It's fine. It's running. It's going. What do you know? It's a miracle.
Well, if it's any consolation to you, I know exactly what Encyclopedia Britannica is, so you're not alone, my friend.
Oh, I know you did.
Bert, great to talk with you. Thank you. Have a great one and stay safe, my friend.
You too, my friend.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of folks out there that know exactly what and there's a lot of young people out there going, do I need to Google this what do they call that? Encyclopedia Britannica? Yeah, I know exactly what it is. I was so proud when my family got our first set. There you go. We're going to get our final break of today's show out of the way, and we'll come back, wrap it up, and put a big old bow on segment hour 2. I knew I was going to blow it, Marty. Before the show was over, I knew I was going to mess it up. Hour 2, show 2 of the Clarence Bug Show right here on the Pelican. Stay with us.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back for the final segment of today's Hour 2 of show number 2 of the Clarence Bug Show. I'm learning, Marty. I'm not going to attempt to do this all the time. Once we get past show 2, I'm not counting numbers anymore. A couple of things, housekeeping, before we wrap up today's show. Want to encourage you, tell all your friends, and, of course, make a mental note yourselves to go to the website for the live stream. You can watch the show there. PelicanSportsTV.com. Jot it down. I'll give you a second to find pull out your phone and go to the memo app or grab a piece of paper and scratch paper and a pen. PelicanSportsTV.com. You can watch us live there. Also, the app, Pelican Broadcasting. Download the app and you can take us with you anywhere you go, whether you're at home, in the car, out of state, doing whatever, whenever, then just pull us up on the Pelican Broadcasting app and you can check us out there. Also, the Exiles, my partners in crime, other members of the band, South Louisiana's talk team, Bill Profita, Kevin Gallagher, right here, same spot, same time slot, Tuesdays and Thursdays, yours truly, Mondays and Wednesdays. An opportunity that many of you thought had completely gone by the wayside. South Louisiana folks on the air talking about South Louisiana stuff. No, it is not something that has been relegated to obscurity. Fortunately, because of the great guys at Pelican Broadcasting, we have the opportunity to do this all over again, and we will be doing it 4 days a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and we would love nothing more than to have you on board. As time progresses, guys, girls, if I could lean on a scripture that my pastor is very fond of using, as we go through this coronavirus pandemic, let not your hearts be troubled. We will make it through this. At the end of the day, it is, for some, a daunting task. At the end of the day, it may seem insurmountable to some, particularly when you are fighting an enemy that is too small for you to see. If it helps, if nothing else, always remember, we're Americans, y'all. And yeah, we still have things that divide us. Yeah, we still have some hurdles that we have yet to overcome. But at the end of the day, we're Americans, y'all. And we do our best work when our backs are against the wall. Many people are of the opinion we've never seen anything like COVID-19. We've never seen anything like the coronavirus. Well, I'd like to flip that around. The coronavirus has never seen anything like Americans. I'll let that sink in. Some of y'all will get it right now. Others, it'll be later tonight. But that's okay. Time for me to get out of here. But before I go, I got to tell you, you know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect. But doggone it, for my money, it's the best there is. And God knows there is no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you have figured it out by now, right? You do realize that he loves you. And I hope you know, even if it's in just the smallest of terms, that your buddy Clarence loves you too. Either way, there ain't a doggone thing that you can do about either one. I'll make you a deal. Take care of yourselves. Let's take care of each other. And we'll make it through this thing all over again. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. God bless.